Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fashion Asia 2022. My name is Divia Harilela, and I will be your moderator for today's panel. I am very excited to have two guests with us today. We've got Megan Reynolds from MATCHESFASHION. Hi, Megan.
Hi, everyone.
And we've got Ashlynn Park, fashion designer who's currently based in New York. Hi, Ashlynn.
Hi, everyone.
So ladies, before we kick off our conversation, I would love it if you could just tell the audience a little bit about yourselves and sort of what you do and how you ended up in the world of fashion. Maybe Megan, you can go first.
Thanks so much, Divya. It's so great to be here with you and everyone watching. My name is Megan Reynolds. I am our brand and marketing director here at MATCHESFASHION. I have a 16+ year career in the luxury industry thus far. I've worked at magazines and e-tailers alike. And currently 6 years into my career at Matches, and just really what drew me to the brand is its really positioning among the luxury space, using culture and fashion, food, and understanding that a modern day luxury consumer has a really rich tapestry to his or her life. So really happy to be here with you. Thank you.
Well, we're very lucky to have you. And what about you, Ashlynn? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm Ashlynn Park, behind the brand name ASHLYN, which does a confident, modern interpretation of the traditional tailoring.
And when did you found your brand, Ashlynn?
My brand launched in 2021 during the pandemic. I launched this brand in a quite difficult time.
Right. Well, in such a short time, you've made incredible achievements. As mentioned, that's why we've got Megan here today as well, because you're one of the innovators for the MATCHESFASHION. You're also one of our winners for the 10 Asian Designers contest in Fashion Asia 2022. You were also an LVMH Fashion Prize finalist. That's a lot. That's an amazing achievement in such a short time. I wanted to ask you, why are these initiatives so important to you? As an emerging designer, especially if, let's talk, for example, for the Matches Innovators Program. Why has this been so integral for you? Why has the support been so important for you as a designer?
About the Matches, the innovative program, I really appreciate their focus on the small brand. As you know, the heavy cash flow is needed for the small brand. Actually, the jumpstart a new luxury brand. Since the ASHLYN prefers to grow slow and steady, we need a great partner with the retailers who value longevity and are in it for the long haul. So this is key.
So,
then yeah.
No, please carry on, sorry.
I'm sure our retailers value the process of educating their customers, building communications, community, and through their marketing program, like including the digital and editorial placement, like how Matches.com doing, and special events around the world. Working with them, we can make the impact and then help differentiate us and share the culture we wish to extend.
Yeah. So Megan, tell me a little bit more about the program. I know that it actually started in 2017 in a different sort of incarnation, and it's evolved over the years. So tell us a bit more about the program and how it has changed, especially in light of the pandemic and now that we're opening up to the world, how it's evolving moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So our Innovators program has always been at the core of the business. While it may have not had a title as it does today, the business has been around for over 30 years. And when Tom and Ruth Chapman really founded this business, majority of it brick and mortar, they always had this pure intention that the customer could walk into a luxury destination, in that time, a brick and mortar store, and really have this element of discovery, something that surprises you, something that delights you, a name you haven't heard of, and really catering to a client that is very sophisticated and very educated in his or her own right. But even with that level of sophistication, you can find something new to learn and to love. So while that has been integral to the brand, we gave it a title, put it under the umbrella of our Innovators program in 2017. And as Ashlynn alluded to, what it is entitles this collective of designers to is at least 12 months of investment from our side, from a commercial perspective, favorable commercial terms, and then just total flexibility in terms of deliveries, or, we'll work with the designer, whether they have delays in manufacturing, whatever it may be, we're here for them. So you have a guaranteed cash flow for a year. And then oftentimes, what's so great about it, our Innovators program has an incredible track record, and many of our innovators have gone on to lead luxury houses, like Maximilian at Ferragamo, Harris Reed's appointment at Nina Ricci, so on and so forth. So really, it's about those commercial elements plus a mentorship program. These designers, Ashlynn included, they know they can always come to us. You have a question about marketing, commercials, anything you need help setting up with the supply chain, we're here for you with the best of our abilities.
So did the pandemic set you back in any way with the program? And moving forward, have things changed in terms of, the support you give designers, or how many designers you're taking on? Because I'm sure, a lot of challenges arose during the pandemic.
It definitely did. And to be honest, it affects, as Ashlynn, I'm sure, can attest to, it affects our designer community so much. Mm-hmm. So while we are the end result, the distribution that the product ends to, and we get it to our luxury consumer base, the supply chain issues are affecting the designers much more than us. So I might hand that question over to Ashlynn, if that's what you think, Divia, just because we are really, how it affects us is we need an added level of flexibility where we can be there to help support and mentor these designers through the process. Because I think supply chains, first and foremost, the price of gas, all the things that we are coming up against now, it really affects designers and young designers more.
So Ashlynn, what are the challenges that you're facing now as a designer, as opposed to 2 or 3 years ago, especially in light of a different world that we're living in now in the post-pandemic era?
We are facing so many different elements right now because of the economy, and then after pandemic, a lot of supply chain, and then the shipping problem, the all goes of the material cost. So we really need really good retailers who value this small business, and then new designer who has really talented, and then believe we can grow together. So I really appreciate this program, and then got so much things from Matches.com.
So Megan, I wanted to ask you, what exactly, I'm sure there's a wide range of a criteria, but what is sort of maybe the top 3 things you look out for, in a designer that you take onto the program? Or maybe specifically, what attracted you to Ashlynn? Why was Ashlynn, a good candidate for the program for you?
Yeah, I'll start there, because Ashlynn's collection is so incredibly special. Since we've started working together, we've sent the pieces out to stylists for photo shoots, we've sent them to top tier customers, and without fail, those pieces hit that customer or industry professional's hands, and every single one of them is saying, oh my goodness, what is this? It is layered, it's cut with precision, it's lightweight unexpectedly, it's always adding these everyday wearable pieces with some very special edge, which surprises you in the way that it's made. So Ashlynn's experience as a pattern cutter has benefited her so much in the way that the garments, their final outcome has that level of precision that oftentimes I think businesses, new brands, perhaps more often than not, are looking to scale quickly. Whereas Ashlynn said she's looking for pieces with longevity that are going to mean something to a luxury customer's wardrobe for a long time. So what that means is the level of quality is just so integral to the garment itself. So the pieces really surprise even the most trained eye, which is just so special. So what we look for in our Innovators program, Ashlynn is a very special member of that, given everything I just said, but we look for people that think differently. So really, to qualify to be an innovator, you have to be putting a spin on the pieces that you're putting out into the world, a really true new purpose to, the designer index that exists. And there are a lot of designers trying to make it, of course, but how are they thinking truly very differently about the manufacturing process, the garments themselves? Sustainability is a big factor, of course, in that as well.
So actually, that's a perfect segue into my next question with Ashlynn, which is, Ashlynn, you incorporate a zero waste principle. I think it's something that you learned, during your time with Yohji Yamamoto, and it's a very important part of your DNA. Can you tell us a bit more about that and how it works and how it fits in with your design aesthetic? Because it's not an easy easy thing to incorporate in this day and age, right?
Yes, ASHLYN is the sum total of my experience in my life and working in Asia under Yohji Yamamoto, and for the past 12 years in New York under Lev Simmons and Alexander Wang and Brenda Schuler and many other designers. I kind of combined two different things that I learned in Japan, the Eastern way of drafting skills that's really efficient in the development process, and then adding Western way of the draping skill that makes the silhouette and then the clothing looks much better, and then like hugging to me right from the rack, and the quality and fit is the everything that tells ASHLYN. And one of the collection that's called the Square Project, I'm using just one square fabric and then try to minimize the waste. So this is the part of like small project inside of the collection for myself, and then bring the recognition to the world. I don't think this kind of small movement doesn't change the world right away, but we can still bring the recognition and then try to change the world.
Why do you think sustainability is so important to you as a designer?
As you know, I started my brand during the pandemic. I was very serious on my work, designing and producing. And then there's a lot of clothing out there. Why I have to add another clothing on top of that? That was really serious because as a mom of two children, I really think about our environment and wanting to make a better industry, and then to pass on them like the better the yes environment to them.
Yeah, have a more positive impact. And Megan, I know that Matches Fashion also, has a strong program around sustainability. I'm curious, you see designers all the time, and especially nowadays, not that it's become a trend, but it's sort of something that's a term that's thrown around a lot. How do you sort of distinguish the authentic sustainable brands from ones that are not authentic?
Yeah, I think that there's so many elements that designers, young designers especially, can embark on their sustainability journey. So it doesn't have to start and end with fabric themselves. We have designers thinking very innovatively about their service proposition as well. In introducing a buyback scheme, introducing transparency in production is really interesting, I think. So I think I would encourage young designers, and I know Ashlyn's doing this so well, just think about it really within your wheelhouse. What are you capable of today, and how can you continue to educate the audience? Because I think that's a huge part of actually where the industry needs to go. We need to understand where we are today so we can then decide how we want to influence our purchasing behavior. So I think transparency in the garments, technology, and then fabrics themselves, and then service proposition is how we can affect that. And that's kind of what we look for. How are people being truly authentic to their journey, their design process, and what can they contribute to the world, not only from a fabric perspective.
So Ashlynn, I'm curious, Megan brought up a good point. Do you see your clothing line or your fashion line as a way to educate your customers about sustainability?
Yes, that's the point that I'm doing the sustainability. I'm not talking about like bad stuff fabric using on here and then like linen, organic fabric only for here, my collection. I approach some different way of sustainability. I'm seeing the bigger picture for the industry and then our environment by doing the efficient development, and then also on a product producing stage, if we can reduce many different sorts of things like your energy and the time of the label and all those things, that's the real meaning of the sustainability, I think.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I think Ashlynn says it so well, that is, you can tell when someone truly knows what they're contributing, because they can speak to things beyond, just one element. Ashlynn's covered her design process from end to end. So I think you get a sense how much work and time they put into it by getting to know them.
Yeah. Actually, Ashlynn, as well as zero waste, I was reading that you also have a bespoke tailoring line. Can you tell us a bit more about that and where it fits in? Because, it's very rare nowadays that you see a fashion label that does anything bespoke. Nobody has the time, nobody has the patience. So it's quite wonderful to hear that you're doing that. So I'd love to hear a bit more about it.
Yeah, we're suggesting the bespoke tailoring service through our online store. To be clear, ASHLYN do not overproduce. We don't have any stock in our studio. So whenever we receive the order, we kind of have a deep conversation with the retailer and then trying to make the best fit of design and then cut only for the one client and deliver the best the outfit for them. That's our bespoke the service. And I know we can lose many chances from the online retail, but my goal is to make the perfect clothing that stay forever with you. And then the bespoke service is the one way to get to the goal, I thought.
So Megan, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about online and bricks versus bricks and mortar. I mean, it's a conversation we've been having, for so long, but I think during the pandemic, online really had its moment. And now that, the world has opened up again, we talk about, going back to the stores, we talk a lot about phygital. I'm curious when you bring on designers like ASHLYN or new brands, how do you convince them that online e-tail is a really important part? Because especially when we talk about luxury fashion, something like ASHLYN's doing, you want to see the fabric, you want to touch it, So how do you sort of make a case for online fashion now as the landscape is changing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, so first and foremost, the proposition that we offer to our designers, and this is all the way up to, super brands to innovators alike, our feeling at Matches Fashion is that the physical and the digital should be one world. The luxury consumer, it takes 20 touch points for them to turn into a customer. So it's more than likely that customer has been introduced to both your physical iteration and your digital iteration, should you have both. So they need to be extensions of one another. So we have our flagship 5 Carlos Place here in London in Mayfair. And really that's a space where international clients, when they're in town, plus local clients can come in and touch and feel, as you're saying. And we make sure that designers have special events as well. So we're exposing a collection like ASHLYN to top tier clients that are using Carlos Place to call in their wish list or have a lovely experience an afternoon with us. And then on digital, we're trying to build that special touch online. So for a global audience who can visit us at our flagship or our other stores here in London, we introduce video. We have a Zoom function that shows the detail of the fabric very closely. We have an amazing team of copy editors that's adding in details about the product and the fabrics and the sustainability efforts. So we're really trying to make sure that high touch look and feel that you get in person is exuded as best as possible online as well. And we're constantly making improvements to those. And we have a new leader here as well, our new CEO, Nick Baton. This is his specialty. So lots of exciting things upcoming for us in that space.
So ASHLYN, for you, what does online e-tail offer you as a designer that you can't get in bricks and mortar? And what else do you get from bricks and mortar that you can't find online?
I still
need
think
both.
So for the small brands, honestly, the e-commerce is the best channel to meet the new clients. So we are using this channel in a different way. So whenever we received any request from the client, we directly email them, trying to engage them more deeper, and then trying to get what their needs, and then yes, so we use this channel to make a bigger community who follow this brand, ASHLYN. Yes.
Yeah, makes sense. And you're talking about digital. I mean, we've seen the whole digital realm evolve so fast over COVID. We now have things like NFTs, the metaverse, Web 3.0. Megan, maybe first to you. I mean, how is that changing your strategy at Matches Fashion? How are you guys incorporating this technology without losing a sense of your authenticity and who you guys are as an e-tailer?
Yeah, at the moment, we're really focusing on making sure our existing service proposition is just perfectly ship-shape, the best it can be. So at the moment, I think especially with the volatility in cryptocurrency, I think that we're keeping an eye on things, staying very educated as we can be. but kind of waiting till the volatility is a little bit more clear. I think there definitely will be, you know, an audience, Gen Z included, that will be more interested in renting items for the metaverse, buying NFTs, making sure that so conversations on the table, for example, with our brand partners, are creating an NFT alongside a garment that would be included in either purchase. Which is interesting, but at the moment we're really just staying attuned to what's happening and really focusing on our core service proposition.
What about you, Ashlynn? I mean, your clothes are so beautiful and so intricately crafted. Would you ever consider creating an NFT or, you know, building something for avatars? Do you think that your clothing could ever translate into the metaverse? Is that something that you're interested in as a designer?
I've ever considered that way with this friend before. But honestly, I'm doing kind of opposite way of it. The more like study the traditional skills and interpret it in our collection and want to pass down those great skills to the next generation. But if there is an opportunity to collaborate with those advanced skills, then I'm very open to it. Just to see the opportunity in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also refreshing to see a designer wanting to go back to the craft, because, you know, we've gotten so digital in a way that I think fashion has lost the true aspect of craftsmanship, which is what made luxury a luxury to begin with. So keep doing that. Don't make any NFTs. Okay, don't. And if you do, I'll tell you off. So we're running out of time. So just the last question for each of you. Maybe you can tell me about, you know, any exciting projects or any new things coming up. Megan, do you guys have anything interesting that you're launching, you know, for Matches Fashion moving forward? Ashlynn, maybe you can talk a bit about your new collection or any projects that you're working on. I don't know who wants to go first.
Let's have Ashlynn go first.
Megan first. Me first. We just finished up the production process and then start a new season with a full of inspiration that again from the traditional, from the history. This is the best part of my business. Doing what I'm doing and focusing on design only with the team. I'm having great team members. They bring the new energy. So I'm so excited to share the new collection to people next season. Yes, that's it.
I know, and hopefully I can see it in person. I'll sit next to Megan. I'll be behind all the photographs as well. And what about you, Megan? What about Matches Fashion?
We're going to be really focused on working with designers like Ashlynn that we feel really passionately about and making sure that we can bring those stories to life. So what you can expect from us from, you know, as of Q1 2023 will be experiences for our top tier clients and new clients alike, that we can really bring the stories and continuing on the storytelling journey of ours, of the designers we're really growing, that we feel passionately about. So we're a very global business, so we'll be looking at activations really in all of our key markets over the next year. So lots to come and lots of planning underway.
Okay, I have time for one more question each. It's going to be a short one. What would be the best piece of advice each of you could give to a designer starting out? You know, the best piece of advice for them while they're starting out, in your opinion? I don't know who wants to go first.
Mine would be to have a very strong intention. You know, just as we embark on anything on the marketing side here, it has a very clear objective, whether it's for awareness or customer acquisition. You have to know why you're doing this, and that's only going to paint you in a great light for all of the prospective partners. Yeah.
Good advice. And you, Ashlynn?
Patient, be patient, waiting for your time.
Yes, that is also very good advice.
Yes. Yes.
Timing is everything in life, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we have run out of time. So thank you both for your time. It's been great to chat with you both, and I hope to meet you in real life sometime soon and have you here in Hong Kong. So thank you on behalf of Fashion Asia. Thank you to Megan Reynolds from Matches Fashion and Ashlynn Park. Thank you both so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Divya.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.